Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place. Hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host, Stephen.
Hey, good morning, Mark.
And let's get things kicked off. Well, let's do our regular weekly recap. So it's been an interesting week. How's your week been, Stephen?
My week's been pretty good.
Yeah?
It's been a week, though. It's been
Yeah.
quite an interesting week. I've had things break, things needing to be fixed.
What's been breaking?
Oh, just some stuff at home. My
Yeah.
3D printer
Oh,
is I'm fighting with it right now. I'm trying
Really?
to figure out why it fails at a certain print level. And it's
stupid
and
printers.
I've replaced pretty much every part on it.
So it's a brand new 3D
It's a
printer.
brand new, basically.
And
3D
it's still
printer.
like,
Well, this last part should be the one.
Okay.
Based on my research, because I finally look up my symptoms
yeah.
for why is my 3D printer sick symptoms.
You have connectivity issues.
You have connectivity issues. And so I'm going to be doing some wiring later today and fix some things.
Wiring.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have your
Base.
motherboard
Yeah.
kind of thing
Uh-huh.
that reads your image and tells the functioning parts what to function.
Yeah.
But that controls like the fans and stuff, and so I'm replacing the cooling fans for the 3D printer today.
Okay. And you feel like that was the last.
That's what other people have said
Yeah.
when they had the same issue.
You're like, okay, well, I've replaced every other part. So.
The other parts were just for cosmetic and for performance, but
Okay.
this one's for it to work, I guess.
This one's functional.
I keep telling myself that.
Yeah. This will be functionally correct.
This will be the functional correction.
All
But
right.
aside from that, as we've been here. It's been interesting here.
Yeah. Yeah, good week here. Yeah, definitely an interesting, good week. A lot of firsts for a lot of things, and yeah, just excited about the future and moving forward, and going to start getting ready for tournament here, and
Posters are up.
posters are up. I got to get some sign-up sheets, and now it's starting to prep. I mean, we're already starting to do that in personal lessons, but now we'll start obviously gearing group classes towards that, and Saturdays will be point sparring days, and
Ooh.
yeah, we had Ninja Night on Saturday, and that was a huge success and a lot of fun, and had like the first time having a legit gaming area.
Yeah, shout out to Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce
With all his
Ellsworth
stuff.
really
Good job, Bryce.
really showed up and showed out for that. I mean, we had 4 stations with 4 different gaming systems, and man, that was like a lot of people were in there. I know Dean. Apparently, Dean
I don't
spent
think
like
he left that area.
yeah, he played like Street Fighter for 4 hours or something. Like, holy crap, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, so we had obviously a Street Fighter setup where it had like the old school D-pad and joystick, and we had a Mario Kart area. We had a Rock Band area with the guitar and the drums.
That's pretty cool.
I was watching some of those kids drum, and I was like, oh my goodness. It's a good thing you're not a drummer.
Well,
Yeah. Then we had a Meta Quest virtual reality setup area.
I think it's the PlayStation one.
Is it the PlayStation one?
PlayStation one.
Okay. Never mind. It wasn't the Quest
I
one.
said MetaQuest too, but
Yeah.
Bryce corrected me there.
Oh, it's yeah, because he's got all the PS
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Sony.
That would make sense. Yeah. So then we had a virtual reality area. So yeah, it's been good. Apparently, Master Martin has one of those virtual reality games, and he's kept it at headquarters, and now nobody can find it.
Oh
So-
no!
Yeah, hopefully they can find it. I've got one. Got one of the first ones, and I know I've told you, but I had an account, and since we hadn't logged on to it for so long, it logged off, and nobody can remember the password or anything. And the email account it was registered to, I created a separate one just for that,
Of course.
was deleted because of inactivity.
Oh,
So there's no way I can get it.
You can't factory reset your thing.
Well, even still, it's like you have to log in
Or
and
create a new account.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
you'll lose your games. but at least-
I lost like probably, I mean, it's only like $100, but it's like still $100.
It stings.
Yeah.
It stings.
Like we lost about 5 or 6 games and all that other stuff. So it's like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
That stinks.
It stinks. I mean,
yeah, we had this year was the first time we had an inflatable obstacle course.
oh yeah, that big thing.
Yeah, we've always had bounce houses, but man, the obstacle course was a big hit. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah, we're actually going to look at trying to purchase one.
Whoa.
And that we can keep just all the time. So, because if you look at it, because we're looking at doing, Ninja Nights like more than just twice a year now.
We're going to do seasonally.
Yeah, we're going to do at least one a quarter. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So it's like, okay, let's just look at getting our own professional grade one. So
that's pretty cool.
Hopefully that'll be happening here soon. But yeah, pretty good week. We had a snowstorm.
I know.
So
finally.
Yeah, snow.
And it's gone already.
Kind of. I mean, there's not much.
Utah for you though.
Not much left on the snow of the snow on the ground down
up in the
here.
mountains.
Yeah,
there's a bit more.
Yeah, we had it's rain/snowed for probably 8 hours yesterday. And crazy enough, we didn't get a whole lot of snow accumulation.
That's right.
Maybe like an inch, if that. So, yeah, it was an interesting day yesterday with the weather, but yeah, it's a little cold this morning, but not crazy cold. Usually the day after a snowstorm, it is like bone-chillingly cold. Like I would probably wear a jacket. Normally I only wear hoodies.
Right.
But I would probably be like, I need to put a jacket on. So, but let's continue on with our show. Let's move on to our Liam's Facts. All right. So last week, our Liam's Facts question was, who is the first quarterback wide receiver duo to win a national championship and a Super Bowl together? The answer is, and if you know me, you should have known the answer. It's Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith.
Whoa.
Yeah, they both won one with Alabama, and then they both won a Super Bowl with the Eagles this year. So
no way. That's crazy.
They're the first quarterback wide receiver duo to do such a feat.
And they were on the same team both times?
Yes.
At the same time?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So Jalen Hurts' story is an interesting one because he originally started in Alabama, lost his starting position to Tua Tagovailoa, stayed on the team the following year. Tua got hurt, then he went back into the starting role on the last game or something and won the game, but then he transferred to Oklahoma his last year in college. And then the Eagles drafted him in the second round.
He was considered to win. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a pretty, yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen again. The fact that they were on the same team in college and same team in the pros, both quarterback, wide receiver duo.
Interesting.
So, I mean, obviously you'll have teammates that you played with in college, but not in that capacity. So, but this week's question is, what is the only bird that can fly backwards? What is the only bird that can fly backwards?
What is the only bird that can fly backwards?
There's only one bird that can fly backwards. So let us know in the comments or email us at trutalktuesdays@gmail.com to let us know the answer. Moving on to a word from our sponsor.
Ninjas in the house.
You check it, Dojo Vibes, got something to share. TRUMOTION merch shop, got that ninja flair. Shirts and hoodies, slick like Bruce Lee. Karate thread sharp like a kick to the knee. Custom names and colors like a lightsaber's glow. You're the Jedi, watch how your style gon' flow. Scan that code, jump in, it's time to score. With gear so fresh, you'll be wanting more. TRUMOTION merch where the fit's on point. Dressing up clean like $1 billion joint. TRUMOTION, safe stacks like Bruce. excuse. From the mat to the street, stepping like Jan. Gear so fly like your own stunt man. Personalize it like your own Stark Tech. Karate gear tight like a chop to the neck. You name your colors like a comic book villain. Step in the light while you're laid back chillin'. Scan the code, it's your time to rise. With your motion gear, you'll take the prize. TRUMOTION, merch where the fit's on point. Dressing up clean like $1 billion joint. TRUMOTION, 10 safe stacks like Bruce. Get your swag right, man, no excuse. Yeah, TRUMOTION's the wave, call it the new rave. Get your gear, step up, now time to behave. Scan that code, the deal's too sweet. Karate swag's here, time to bring the heat.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thanks, sponsor.
Okay, and moving on to our top 5. This week's top 5 is I thought it was kind of hard.
It was a
Hard
difficult
and-
one.
Hard and not hard at the same time,
What are we going to talk about?
but it's top 5 winter hobbies.
Top 5 winter hobbies.
Yeah, we are in winter, so we obviously should talk about winter stuff.
Interesting.
But what are your top 5 winter hobbies?
Oh, wow. That is interesting because I like staying inside during the winter.
Yeah.
Which makes me very unfun for winter hobbies.
I'm not a huge winter
now,
hobby
I've done,
fan.
and I will do in the future more, but I do like skiing. I
Okay.
do ski.
I hate skiing.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I like tubing. Tubing's way
Okay.
more fun.
Tubing,
Snowball fights.
snowball fights,
Football.
football in the snow.
Football in the snow.
Okay.
Very good. And I've got, for the other one, man, sitting inside.
Sitting
by the
inside.
fire. Making a fire. Making a fire.
Making a fire.
In the fireplace. It's
Okay.
much nicer in the winter.
Yes.
Kind of weird to do it in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes at night. I mean, I get it. But,
It's fun to do fire pits outside in
Yeah.
the summer.
but I
But
gotcha.
fireplace inside in the winter, there's something to that.
Well, I have heard, and this has been proven by Mythbusters, that it actually makes your house colder to have a fire in your house.
Mythbusters proved that.
Yeah, because
What?
it draws all the oxygen to the fire,
Not
so it
maybe
actually
so.
makes your house colder.
That's cool.
So,
I'm
but
not going to try that though.
no, I mean when you're right next to the fire, who
It's
cares what
like-
the rest of the house feels like?
It's like it's hot.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got. I haven't done it in a long time. Most of these I haven't done in a long time, but some of them I have. Ice fishing's really fun.
Ice fishing.
Yeah, I never thought
That
ice
takes a lot
fishing
of
would be fun.
patience.
Actually, not. Like you
doesn't.
can actually catch more fish ice fishing
Why?
because you can walk out to the middle of the lake where all the big fish are, and just like bloop, drop the line right down.
Interesting.
Yeah, versus needing a boat or just fishing from the shoreline.
Huh.
So, and it's not quite as cold as you would think.
I'm thinking it's pretty cold.
It's actually not.
Really?
Like you end up getting hot and shedding layers. Some people have like huts, like fishing huts, and they'll get those things like roasting with like portable heaters and
Doesn't that melt the ice?
no.
What?
And if it does, it'll melt it only of not even like a fraction of the depth because it can you can go ice fishing with, I believe they say 18 inches of ice. Yeah, but most of the time it freezes like 2 or 3 feet worth of ice, and you can drive your car on there,
What?
and it won't fall through.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people will bring like their snowmobiles on the ice, and yeah, they'll drag all sorts of stuff on there.
Nothing like driving around on top of a lake.
Well, a lot of people will, like, I think especially at like Strawberry Reservoir, will have their like fishing huts and they will just leave them there on the ice. And then obviously before the ice gets too melted or if it starts to get too hot, they'll go out, they'll drag it back on and, ice fishing's done. But yeah, ice fishing's a lot of fun. You can catch some really big fish, which is funny because you have those tiny fishing poles.
Yeah, I thought you just drop strings through the holes that you make.
You can, I mean, if you're primitive.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but usually you get those. And I always ask, I go, why do you have these little fishing poles? And they're like, so you can stand closer to the hole. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So, yeah. And when you go ice fishing, you can hear the ice crack.
Yeah, that's scary.
It's not a normal sound. And I obviously the first time I went with my buddy Keith, and he's the one that kept getting me into like outdoors.
Yeah, he was the one that tried to
Debacles.
make you an outdoorsman.
Yeah. It worked for a while. Then I started doing, teaching full time, and no more time for that.
Yeah,
So,
I was done.
but he goes, "Hey man, listen, you'll be able to hear the ice crack." And I was like, "Shut up. Like, I don't want you to try to like mess with me anymore. I'm done. I'm just done." And he goes, "No, I'm serious. You can hear the ice crack." And I was like, again, shut up. Like, I don't want to hear it from you at all. He goes, "Okay." And then all of a sudden you hear this like do 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 do. Like it sounds like like you're making a loud noise through a hallway.
Really?
Where it echoes. It's
It
like
echoes.
And I was like, "What was that?" He goes, "That was the ice cracking down the lake." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the ice can crack at the other end of the lake, and the reverberations will go through underneath the ice through the water, and you'll hear it." And I was like, "Seriously?" Yeah, and all fishing time you'd hear, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo," and you're just like, I was like, "Are we safe to be here?" He goes, "Yes." It's like it's 2 feet deep, dude. You're fine. So, ice fishing's a ton of fun. I think it's great. Just don't get a chance to do it very much anymore.
Right.
But I used to do a lot of ice skating when I was a kid.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Hockey or like the ballet style?
well, neither.
Neither. You just try to stand.
Yeah, like I took ice skating lessons,
Okay.
but like I never got a chance to play hockey. I eventually was like, I only want to use like ice hockey skates,
Right.
because they're different than
'Cause they're
regular ice
thicker.
skate. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Regular ice skates have this like break on the toe, where it kind of curves up and it's got ridges, so you can like tilt your toe forward and it helps slow you down. Ice hockey skates don't have any of that. It's just a blade. So in order to stop, you have to turn, and then you have that like ice hockey stop where it like sprays people
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like
yeah. The cool thing.
shavings. Yeah, the cool stuff.
What people who know how to skate do to the people who don't know how to skate.
Yeah. So ice hockey skates are a lot different because the front and back of it round up, but there's nothing that's there for stopping. So like you can roll forward and then like your skate could slip right out from underneath of you if you're not careful. So
Interesting.
ice skating was fun.
Ice skating
That was
very
fun.
fun.
Staying inside.
Yeah.
I always loved that.
Always
yeah.
your
Absolutely.
favorite.
I like to watch it snow.
Yes.
Like if you're at home and you have zero place to go, that's
And
one of
it's
the
snowing?
and it's snowing. That's one of the
You feel
like
so good.
best days ever. Because it is one of the most beautiful things to watch it snow. Like I absolutely love it. Like one of the cooler things was one of the years when we went up to Master Martin's cabin, it snowed a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And I was all like, oh, okay, I'm going to enjoy it while we can, but then eventually I got to drive down.
You got to drive in that.
That sucks.
That's
yeah.
one of my top 5 least favorite winter activities.
Yeah, it's driving in snow. That sucks. But he would routinely get like 4 feet of snow at his cabin. And it was one of the most peaceful, beautiful things ever to just be sitting up in the mountains and watching it snow and be like, I don't got anywhere to go. This is great. So I like it. I like watching it snow. But if I've got to go somewhere, I'm like,
Snow's not your friend.
I don't want it to snow right now. It's like it can snow when I get there.
Wait for me to get home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so staying inside, watching snow, and karate, obviously.
Karate
Yeah.
at wintertime.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's a year-round
It's
thing.
year-round.
But I'm just saying it because I mean, yeah, snowballs fights are fun, but that requires you to
No,
gear up and
I
Same thing
agree.
with
And
football.
Here's the thing. Karate teaches you a lot of practical ways to navigate through winter. Like
Yeah.
half mooning is a way you can walk over the ice.
yeah, it's like ice skating.
It's like ice skating.
Yeah.
You know, if I had known that, I would be better at ice skating.
Yeah.
It might have been on my top 5.
Most people actually injure themselves falling than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets even worse when it's icy outside.
Oh, absolutely.
So I know I like to laugh when I watch people slip on ice, but in reality, like, you can really get hurt doing that.
Oh, man, I got concussed
Yeah.
once.
You did you?
Yes.
Because you fell back and hit your head?
Yep, and it was at school.
Yeah. That's actually why I don't go tubing.
Why?
Is because I've had too many concussions and it's just not worth it.
Oh, just gotta stop hitting trees.
Yeah. Yeah, probably one of my first that I can remember was from sledding as a kid.
Sledding's super fun, but it's
I was
dangerous.
walking up the hill and someone hit me as I was walking up the hill, and I don't remember anything until people standing over me.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so I felt the person hitting my legs, and then the lights went out. So,
Wow.
and then I was confused on why people were standing over me.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'd be like, what are you guys doing? And then I got up and kept sledding.
Yeah, of course.
So,
that's what you do.
yeah. But those are our top 5. What are your guys? Did we miss any
Yeah.
fun winter activities? And I'm not including like flying to warmer weather as a winter activity.
Yeah,
So if
it's
you're
not
like,
it's too expensive.
you're like, oh, well, my favorite winter activity is going to Florida.
to Florida.
That's not a winter activity.
Yeah.
No, that's called a vacation. So
I'm gonna do my winter house down
Yeah,
in the
I'm
southern
gonna-
equator.
gonna go to warmer climates for the winter. That's my favorite winter activity. That's a lie. That's not a winter activity. That's a
Enjoy the
lifestyle.
beach.
Yeah. So let us know what your favorite is, and
There's some new ones.
hopefully we got some new ones in there that we didn't think about. Like obviously I'm probably gonna hear like snowshoeing or like
This was like
what
walking,
is it,
but
ice,
difficult.
like igloo making or snow
Igloo.
shelters.
I've made those shelters. Those are fun.
those snow shelters.
They take a lot of work. Here's the tricky thing with winter activities. You actually work really hard.
Yeah, you have to work
You're
twice
sweating.
as hard.
You're hot.
Well, and you have to be careful.
And-
like you can't work too hard to
Yeah.
where you're sweating, and then that's when you get even colder
Chilled. Yeah.
and you get hypothermia. So you have to work smart, but yet hard enough, but not too hard that you
But
get
you still wanna
sweaty.
get it done before it gets dark.
It's a weird dynamic with
have to
winter
think about these
activities.
things.
Yeah. So, and I went camping one time in the winter. Worst experience of my
I
life.
bet that sounds terrible.
I did it for scouts, and I did not have the right equipment. I had like a below, sub-zero
Oh, that's nice.
bag, like, so at least I had that. But like,
Your tent. Was
nobody told me that you needed like a pad to put on the floor,
Oh yeah.
like in your tent and all that stuff. And like, I froze
Of course.
that entire night. Like, when I got home, it was miserable. When I got home, I don't think I got out of my sleeping bag for like 2 days. Like, I needed to thaw out. Yeah, that's probably why I hate skiing too. So I didn't have the right type of equipment skiing, and like I felt like my feet were gonna fall off.
I have a very similar experience with skiing. Even though I really like it,
Yeah,
the boots they destroy my feet.
yeah,
That my feet are not made for the traditional skiing boots.
yeah.
So I'm looking in the process of getting, and I just want to kind of experiment with this. And so anybody in the comments, email or comment if you have experience with this. But they're called ski boards.
Okay.
So ski boards are like a cross between a ski and a snowboard. They're short and they're about, I don't know, 30.
And they go on your feet?
They go on your feet.
Okay, I think I've seen those. They almost look like rollerblades.
They're like rollerblades or
Yeah.
ice skates, and that's kind of the motion that you do when you ski
Uh-huh.
with them. But the boot option allows you to wear snowboard boots, which
okay,
are
a lot more comfortable.
yes, they're more forgiving on
Yeah.
people with flanged ankles and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm looking to get into that, and if I do that, then I'll be back on the skiing.
There you go.
But I went skiing, I think 2 years ago with a friend, just for the day,
Uh-huh.
and man, it hurt so bad.
I think I went skiing 30 years ago. Like, forget that nonsense. It was probably even longer.
Yeah,
I have no desire to go back.
that's okay.
Maya's a really good snowboarder.
Nice.
Like, she's a way good snowboarder, but she hasn't been in years also.
It happens. I mean, it's so expensive now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Even
it's very
just
tough.
like one run, like a day, you're looking at easily,
a couple hundred.
yeah, a couple $100. And the pass is, man, it's pricey for only like 4 months worth of skiing, if that. And if you think about it, if you went up every weekend, that's still probably 10 times, 12 times that you go. And that's if you religiously went up every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm not knocking it. Like, people that love snowboarding and skiing, like, good for you
awesome.
guys. It's just not my thing.
It's great.
Yeah, not my thing, though. But moving on to our Ask a Sensei. All right. This week's questions, we got some interesting ones.
Uh-oh, which ones did we pick today?
Kind of some all over the place ones, to be honest
wow.
with you. Question number 1, though, is what are people surprised to learn about you?
Really?
Yeah,
That's the one?
that's the first. Well, that's the first one.
Oh, wow. I think people are surprised to learn that I do this, that
Yeah.
I do karate, and I teach it.
Yeah,
I've had people not believe me.
yeah, like whatever, man.
Whatever, man. Here's some desk monkey or whatever.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't say that,
but
but
whatever. It's all right.
it's. I think being able to explain that I actually help people become better versions of themselves through punching and kicking, and I teach kids discipline through punching and kicking, and
Yeah,
that's something that people are like, oh wow, really, wow. So that's pretty simple. Like I don't have a long response for this. So.
no, it's very kind of straight to the point. Yeah, I think that surprises people to learn that, but I don't think that that's the only thing, especially for me.
Right.
I think a lot of people are surprised to know how good I am with kids,
Yeah.
because it's like I don't look like I should be good with kids.
Right.
So, I'm a little bit taller, bigger,
And frankly, I think it's just more of a perspective that adults do adult things and kids do kid
Yeah.
things. And it's like we send them off to school and we hope they come back with an education, but we don't actually really see their teachers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are surprised to learn like that I'm very, very good with kids and that I have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
That one's, I mean, it's so. I mean, you can't really look at somebody and be like, oh, they don't have any patience.
No.
So, I mean, well, let me rephrase. I think there are some people you're like, damn, do not get on their nerves.
Yeah.
They look like they could cause some trouble.
Absolutely.
But, like, I was just watching a podcast it's called The Pivot.
Yeah.
With it's with a couple of former football players.
It's a football podcast.
Not just a football podcast, but it's hosted by former players.
Oh, okay.
So, and they were interviewing Ryan Clark is one of the main hosts on it, and he played for the Steelers, and they were interviewing one of his former players named James Harrison, who is, my goodness, that is a just beast of a human being, and he has a mean streak. So, like, he's got a very short temper. He hits people ridiculously hard. And he played defense, and he was the defensive player of the year for like 2 years in a row. Like, he was just a menace on the football field, and he never smiled. Like, and he looked angry all the time. And the other two co-hosts, it was what was it, Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor. I think those are their names. They were talking about him, and they're like, I gotta let you know, man, like, you're intimidating. Like, I'm still kind of scared of you. And Ryan Clark's like, he knows who he is, so he knows like what he can and can't do. And he's like, it's like, no, man, I'm a nice guy. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, you look mean. You look like you could like just like rip someone's face off right now. And he's like, why? He's like, because you're intimidating. Look at you. And it's like, there are some people that are like, you look at them and you're like, holy crap, like, I do not want to get on their bad side. So there are people out there that are like that. But then when you get to know them, then you're like, okay, he's actually a really
Got a
nice
rough
person.
exterior and a soft interior or something like that.
Well, that I think that's kind of like a lot of like Master Martin as well. Everybody views Master Martin as this big, intimidating person, and he is. But at the same time, he's also one of the nicest people you ever meet. So it's like, yeah, sometimes that happens. You know, like when you're a little bit bigger, you have this stigma of like you're mean. So it just kind of comes with the territory. But I think a lot of people are surprised to know how well I work with kids.
Nice.
So, or at least that's what I think. I mean, it could be different, but who knows? But all right, moving on to our next question is, this one's going to be an interesting one because I think that could go a couple of different ways.
Oh, wow.
It's, what's a movie scene that never fails to make you laugh out loud?
Oh, man.
Could probably have a couple.
Oh, man. What is it? You go first.
So one of them that kind of came to my mind when I first thought of this was, and oh God, I laugh like an idiot every time I watch it, is in Monty Python and the Holy Grail when he's fighting the Black Knight. Not just fighting the Black Knight, but it's the scene where
Dismembering the Black Knight.
Arthur thinks he won and he kneels to pray and he kicks him in the head. And then he starts dancing around.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, chicken our way." And I was, that from then on, oh man, I laugh like an idiot all the time. That and just about every scene out of the movie Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Oh. When when they get into the fight about the drum set. that whole scene, and then the after effects of it, when they get grounded as like 40-year-olds, and then them cussing at their parents afterwards, that always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So those are two that it's like, okay, if I need a good laugh, I'll always put those in. So
Nice. Yeah, Monty Python movies don't disappoint.
yeah, they really don't.
I liked, what scene was it from Life of Brian? It was the scene. There's so many scenes in there that it's like they're relevant
Yeah.
today. Like the one guy who doesn't go on the raid where everyone gets killed, and he's like, "Oh, he's got back problems."
Yeah.
I'll hear it, solidarity, brother. I'm like, I can't stop chuckling through that movie.
Yeah.
So that's always a good one to make me laugh. Yeah, I'm struggling to come up with specific scenes, but
It's one of those ones to where it's like afterwards, like later on today, you'll be like, "Oh God, this is one."
That was one.
So it's probably, instead of saying scenes, like what's a movie, like
Yeah.
a movie that we were like, I will laugh every time I watch this movie.
That one.
Monty
Yeah,
Python.
Monty Python movies
Yeah.
are way funny. I like what's the one? The Pet Detective, Jim Carrey.
Oh, Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Let me ask you a few questions.
Yep, that one's funny.
That one's good.
What's the one that he crawls out of the fake rhinoceros?
That's Pet Detective 2.
Pet Detective 2.
Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls.
When Nature Calls.
Yes.
That one's funny.
That one is funny.
That scene specifically, I just like, it's so disturbing.
Yeah. They're like, look, a rhino's about ready to give birth. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Let's see.
I honestly really like the grown-up movies.
Mm-hmm.
Those are funny. Those are really funny, probably because now that I'm older, like I get a lot of the humor. But that scene when they're playing the basketball game at the end and Kevin James is like, "Oh God, let's fake injuries so we don't have to run anymore." And I was like, "Oh geez, that was great. That was really funny." Yeah, God, there's so many funny movies. Talladega Nights is really funny.
Talladega Nights is really funny.
Yeah.
The shake and bake.
Yeah, shake and bake. If you ain't first, you're last. That one's really funny. Or that whole scene where he's like, they're praying, and he likes to pray to baby Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it's funny. It's like, I always picture Jesus as this old dude at a Grateful Dead concert. And it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, we're having this discussion over what Jesus to pray to. That one was really funny. I like Will Ferrell. A lot of people don't like Will Ferrell movies or Will
He's got
Ferrell.
a particular niche.
I think he's funny. I think he's way funny. Kevin Hart's really funny. Just about anything Kevin Hart's in's pretty funny. Yeah, Jim Carrey. Obviously, you can consider him an OG because he's in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So he's funny. Oh, what are some?
Some of the Jonah Hill movies are pretty funny, like Superbad and
Yeah,
22
Napoleon
Jump
Dynamite,
Street,
really
Napoleon
funny.
Dynamite's funny. Like they're
Nacho-
quotable. Like
Nacho Libre,
yeah.
that one's funny.
Yep.
I remember the first time I saw Napoleon Dynamite in the theaters. I laughed a couple of times, and I was thinking, "Oh, okay, it was okay."
Mm-hmm.
And then driving home, you just start quoting the movie, and you're like, "Damn, that movie was really funny." All right, Preston, Idaho is on the map now.
Yeah.
You're like, "For what?" Napoleon Dynamite. In fact, is funny. Speaking of Napoleon Dynamite, one year, this was, probably 2012, maybe, or 2011.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Brandon and I, after one of our workouts and meetings, we went to go have breakfast, and we went over to they closed it, the Mimi's Cafe over by Southtown Mall.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, they closed that
It's
one.
closed now.
It's unfortunate. We went and had breakfast there, and while we were there was a whole bunch of people in an area, and we're like, who's over there? And they're like, oh, it's some people that are filming a movie out here, and they're just having lunch or whatever. And it was the actor that played Uncle Rico.
Oh wow.
So as we were leaving, we yelled out, be like, Uncle Rico, and like waved at him and stuff like that, and he waved back, so it was pretty fun. But that character was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
He was like, throw a pigskin over those mountains. Then he grabs a steak and does this weird throw and hits Napoleon in the face with a steak. Yeah, that was a good one. There are so many funny scenes in movies, and it's one of those things where it's like, I will be doing the same thing where it's like 2 hours from now, I'll be like, oh, there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. But inevitably, the one that first popped into my head was that towards the end of the Dark Knight scene where he kneels down to pray, thanking God for his victory, and then the dude kicks him in the face. I don't know.
Have an arm.
I don't know why that makes me laugh all the time, but I do. And then he just starts dancing around him. Oh, chicken, are we? It's like, you ain't got any arms. Yes, I do. No, you don't. I cut them off. It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one makes me laugh all the time. But yeah, let us know if you've got a favorite funny scene that inevitably will make you laugh all the time. When I was younger, Cinderella, because my grandma's house, it was either old musicals or Disney cartoons. That was it. That was all we could watch. And I got sick and tired of watching Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly movies.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to watch any more old singing movies, Grandma. So we would always watch Disney movies. And the scene where the mice surprise Cinderella with the dress, and everybody's like, surprise, surprise. And then Gus is like, duh, happy birthday. And that always, I would rewind that one scene like multiple times because it made me laugh because it was funny.
Yeah.
The fact that he was like, duh, happy birthday. So Gus was funny. But let us know what your funny scene is, or if you do have a go-to funny scene that makes you laugh. And I love to hear it because I know I'm forgetting some.
And maybe there's some that we haven't seen yet.
Exactly. I love things that make me laugh. So if you've got something that I haven't heard of that makes you laugh, please share it because I would love to take a look at it. So, and yeah, anything from South Park makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you limited it to movies.
Yeah. But moving on to our final question is, what was your first job?
My first job?
Yeah, what was your first job?
Wow. Well, my first job was actually really close to the old South Jordan Dojo. I set up the Dollar Tree there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You went and set up the Dollar Tree?
Mm-hmm.
After it was a Hollywood Video.
I know.
Yeah. When I first opened there, everybody's all like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were still movie rental places when we opened up South Jordan.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that seems like a lifetime ago.
I know.
I always thought it'd be cool if we could move into the old Hollywood Hollywood Videos location.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Dollar Tree got it, so
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah, I was there for after high school. I did mostly education and stuff through high school. So I worked for my dad before, but you know.
What did you do with your dad?
He just told me what to do and I did it.
Oh,
So it was
you're
kinda
his
that
apprentice.
gopher.
Yeah,
That gopher
Yeah.
position. Go for this. Bring
Go-
me more screws.
go
Hold
for
this.
that. Go
Hold
do
the light steady.
I said, hold the line steady. Like, yes, Dad. Sorry. Or you just start wandering, looking at other stuff, and leaving him in the dark.
Yes.
You're like, Dad, I said, hold. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
You almost done? I don't want to hold the light anymore.
No, I'm not done.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. Like I guess my first job experience was at the Dollar Tree because that's where I got my first like paycheck,
Yeah.
and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
I remember immediately buying so many things that I didn't need.
Of course.
But I
You're stimulating the economy.
Yes, of course. You know, I was doing my duty.
Yeah.
But I worked for my dad since I was probably able to understand what he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I still don't, but
That's true.
it's like planting things, gardening, watering. Oh, I remember spending hours just watering plants.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. And you know, he paid a fair wage, food and board and allowance.
Yeah. Room and board.
Room and board and allowance.
Yeah.
You know, fair wages.
Yeah. Lucky you got an allowance.
I know.
Usually it's just room and board
Usually.
and food.
I was an allowance kid, but it was once a month and only if all my stuff was done through
Yeah.
that month.
My parents were never allowance people. Granted, they never withheld anything either.
Right.
It was one of those, like, you did it because you were supposed to do it. And if you needed something, we would help you with that.
Right.
So if it
But
was
if you
like,
wanted something, what would you do then?
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we never did like allowances or we never paid for grades or anything like that. Like, good grades were just kind of expected.
Hmm.
You know, it's like you shouldn't be paid for what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean,
It's one
interesting.
of those things to where but we never were like if we needed stuff, like if it was need, yeah, they would always help us with it and do that stuff. It was wants, then there had to
You
be
have
a
to
little
bring a good argument to the dinner table.
Yeah, then you had to
This
do
is
some
why I need
finagling.
this- Need these shoes.
Exactly. Yeah, Mom, they will make me run faster and jump higher. I need them.
Everyone else is wearing them, Mom.
They're like PF flyers. I remember my first pair of gym shoes, and again, this is when we really didn't have any idea. They said, non-black marking shoes, because back in that time, I don't want to say back in the day, but back in the day, in gym floors, your shoes could leave black streaks. So they're like, no black soled shoes. And every shoes had black soles on them.
Of course.
The only ones that we could find were a pair of Chuck Taylors.
Oh, wow.
So my first, and you could only wear these shoes in gym class. These were only gym shoes. Like, you bought them specifically for the gym, and you didn't wear them anywhere else but the gym. And so my first pair of shoes, and I had no idea that these were like, quote unquote, old shoes, because I just didn't know any better. Like, all these other kids had like Jordans and Nikes and this and that, and I pull out my old school Chuck Taylors, and I was just like, whatever. They were red Chuck Taylors, and I was like, I thought they were like the slickest things ever, and now they're still cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
So, yeah, that was fun. But I think technically my first job, like where I got a paycheck, I was very young. I think I was like in 4th grade. I did a paper route.
Oh, nice.
So I had a paper route when I was a kid for a summer.
Yeah.
Now, granted, in reality, like, my mom probably did most of the work, because they would deliver the papers and she would wake up at like 5 a.m. and fold them and put them together. And then I was the one that wrote out and delivered them.
Threw them? Did you throw them or did you drop them off?
Certain houses I could throw them. Certain houses I had to drop them off because there was crap in the way. And
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't have the best day, and people would complain if it wasn't on their
Oh,
porch.
the paper went through my window. Ah.
Oh, the paper's in the yard. Shut up.
Yeah.
I got to walk 2 extra feet to grab my paper.
It's cold outside.
Yeah. So then I would ride and do the paper route, which was interesting because you had the like thing that went over your head that held all the papers. So it was hard to ride your bike. Yeah, and I did that for a whole summer, and I remember waking up stupid early, doing the paper route, and then coming home and going back to bed.
Of course, that's what you do. You did your day's worth of work.
Yeah, and that was the summer, like, we had a trampoline, and I would always sleep out on the tramp.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Every night I slept out on the tramp.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the best. The only downfall to sleeping out on the tramp is you got really hot really fast when the sun came out.
Yeah.
So, like, the sun would wake you up, and you'd be like, oh, God, I got to go inside. Because it was like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and you're just, like, roasting.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, that was my first, like, job. I did stuff like, kind of like what you did with my uncle in California. He owned a couple of apartment complexes, and he was the maintenance man and landlord. So there was one summer I went with him and probably got in the way more than I actually helped.
That's usually the case, but
he kind of showed me around and showed me how to do certain things, and I helped him with like whatever I could, and that was a lot of fun. So I got to work with him. When we talked a little bit about this, I think yesterday or Wednesday, when I was my summer after my freshman year in high school, I got a job with a buddy of mine that was graduating high school, and we worked on a car dealership lot as lot technicians in Spanish Fork. Now, granted, for those of you guys that aren't aware, like Salt Lake County and Spanish Fork is like an hour and a half away. And not like California hour and a half away where it's literally like 10 miles. Like we're talking like 60 miles away, something like that, at least. So that was a long ride every day. We'd leave around 7:30, get to work, come home by 7 at night, go to bed, wake up, do it again.
next day.
Yep, did that
thing.
Monday through Friday. So I worked a full-time job over one summer, and I think I was getting like $5 an hour or something like that. But I made enough money to buy all my school clothes, and I was a sharp-dressed kid growing up. Now it's just like, hoodies and
comfortable.
Hoodies and sweatshirts, and I want to be comfortable. I don't really care about if you think like it looks good.
Do I not have enough? Whatever.
Yeah, Riz.
I'm
I don't
not
have
rizzed
enough. I don't have enough Riz.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm hip to all the lingo, man.
Yeah, you are.
Not
Literally.
really. One that side tangent.
Okay, here we go.
One of the new terms that needs to go away is cook.
Really?
I cannot stand
Why do you
that.
hate this? Because you brought this up before.
Yeah, I tell the kids, I'm like, the next person that says cook or they're cooking, you're doing push-ups. Like, stop it. It does not serve any meaning.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it does and it doesn't.
It doesn't.
How you're using it is not in the correct term. You're not cooking.
You're making me hungry, and I'm uncomfortable with that.
You are not in the kitchen. You're not preparing food.
That's right.
Shut up. So it's like, oh, he's cooking. Let him cook. Let him cook.
I think it's probably to Breaking Bad. They're cooking meth or something.
Yeah, exactly. What are you cooking? Like you're throwing a ball or kicking a bag.
Yeah.
What do you mean cook? Oh, he's cooked. He's cooked.
I'm so cooked right now.
That one sort of makes sense because they're done.
Yeah.
So it's like
the kind of they alludes to.
that I can sort of understand.
That's the whole stick a fork in them.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh, he's cooked. It's like, okay, that
Well,
one
let
I
him
can
cook
let
or
him cook or
cooking
he's
or-
cooking. Those two need to go away.
That just makes me hungry.
Yeah, it's like, dude, are you going to prepare me food
what are you
or are you
making?
going to
I'm
are you
curious
trash
now.
talking? Like your trash talking needs some help. But I don't know. Maybe call me old. I don't really care. I think that that type of slang needs to go away. I'm all for like slang terms and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. It's got to make sense. And I don't understand Riz. Like, what is Riz?
We need some experts.
Yeah. Like, what? Where did we come up with the term Riz? And why does Riz mean like cool or charismatic? Is it
It's
short
that
for
one.
charismatic? Riz? Charisma? Riz?
I got that. Charisma.
Okay, so that makes sort of sense.
It doesn't. Don't give in. Just
No.
remain obstinate.
Like, I get where they come to that term, but I don't think
but
it's...
See, my generation did like the LOLs and the YOLOs and the OMGs and the WTFs. But then this generation just takes other words and like shortens them. And like cuts literally most of the word out.
My generation just created their own words.
Yeah.
Like rad,
Radical,
awesome,
radius, awesome, tubular,
yeah, cowabunga.
cowabunga.
Yeah.
Now you're just quoting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hey, where do you think we got them all?
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's some terms. Sometimes I need a translator. I was like, what the hell did they just say?
I need to plug this in real
Yeah,
fast.
hold up. You guys aren't speaking English. So, but yeah, that I'd always like to know what people did for work or
always
if they
good.
ever worked.
Yeah.
Like Maya and Jamin never worked during high school
Really?
or before
Wow.
high school. Yeah, and I have like I understand Shanna's reasoning behind it, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I feel like every kid should have like one of these like early on jobs.
Oh, I get that. I think it's really
So-
good for development to be able to go from one place to another, like for after school to a job. I think that's something that's like
Well, if
you
you're
have
not
more
on a
responsibility.
team, then yeah, I think you should do something like that. If you're on a team, you can't really do something like
Oh,
that.
that's fair. That's fair.
Because you have other quote unquote
I
responsibilities.
was never on a team,
Yeah.
but I also never did like work after school. But
Yeah.
I went to more school after school. I went to college after high school.
There you go. No, but Shanna's reasoning behind it, and I understand this, and I'm like, it makes sense. Is her reasoning is once you start working, you never stop working,
Yeah, in a way.
and it's
yeah, that
like
makes
she
sense.
wants them to just be kids, and I'm like, okay, I get that. Like you can still be kids and have like a summer job, or like a seasonal job. I'm not saying you got to do it every year, but having like one, I don't necessarily think's bad for you. So, but I understand the reasoning because like once you get into the job force, like you never really leave the job force.
It changes.
Yeah.
You
So-
change jobs. You do different jobs.
Yeah, but you never
But
like
you kind of have that mindset shift that is like, I got to be doing something with my time.
yeah. Yep, for sure. But let us know if you guys have a cool first job or if you worked before you graduated high school or
Or if you've never
in
worked
high school
before in
or
your
if
life.
you've never worked before in your life. Let us know. But moving on to our fight scene. All right, this week's fight scene is between two martial arts characters, not people,
Oh,
but
wow.
characters. We have Ryu from Street Fighter
Ryu.
and Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
Johnny Cage.
So, this one's interesting because I don't think necessarily home field would matter, but
Interesting.
let's say Johnny Cage
He's fighting on the set of one of his movies.
fighting on the set
He
of
does all
one of
his
his
own
movies,
stunts.
and he does all his own stunts. So Ryu's going to fight Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat realm or universe. Who you got?
I got the Cage.
I kind of figured you would. You're a Mortal Kombat fan,
Yeah, I am.
so
I mean, here's the thing that there's like a nut punch.
yeah, the
So
splits
it
punch.
usually always works.
This is true, but he doesn't have any sort of like projectiles.
Projectile weapon. No, he does his teleporting kick, where he sort of does a phase kick, where in the game
Okay.
he turns green and goes, and it's like a range kick.
But
he jumps
that is
up to
true.
him.
That is true.
But he doesn't have Hadouken or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so
kind of
I'm gonna I've got Ryu.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I was more of a I don't dislike Mortal Kombat. I like Mortal Kombat.
Where's your
But my first introduction into like the fighting
Yeah, of
game
course.
realm was Street Fighter.
yeah? Where's your Street Fighter music? We only play Mortal Kombat music here. Though.
This is true. I will download
to
some
get some.
today. I will get that done today. Interestingly enough, I was always a Guile fan.
I like Guile too.
I like Guile, but in this instance, in this realm or this
I thought
scenario,
that would be a better match versus Johnny Cage, but
I picked them because they were similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both like, well, I mean, technically Guile's a martial artist too, but yeah, I
It
just
is what it
think
is.
with the projectile ability that Ryu has,
Mm-hmm.
I think Johnny Cage's ego would get too much in the way
Interesting.
because he's always portrayed as this arrogant, cocky person.
Yeah.
So, which I think I've heard that they are filming another Mortal
heard
Kombat
that.
movie,
Yeah.
and Johnny Cage is going to be in this one because I mean
maybe.
they alluded to it at the end of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So, were you a fan of the remake or
It was okay.
the reboot?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the main character? He was not a character in the games, is he?
I don't remember if I don't think I didn't think he was at the time.
Yeah.
But of course, the lore is they could change it and they could bring in new characters. 'Cause
Yeah.
What are they on? Like Universe 40 or something?
I don't even know. It was definitely better than the Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Frankly, I think that one tried to bite off more than it could chew.
Yeah.
It had all the right intentions,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't executed right.
No, there's something very special about the first Mortal
The first
Kombat.
one, classic, love it.
Yeah, there's something very special about the first one.
The anime, great. The cartoons are great.
I haven't really watched the
Yeah,
anime.
they're pretty brutal.
I've seen like stories.
Frankly,
like,
you could just watch the whole movie just put through the video game cutscenes on YouTube.
probably. Yeah.
You just have to, YouTube doesn't like all the red blood and gore, so like the person that uploads it changes the color palette,
Oh,
so it's like white or something.
yeah. Street Fighter has definitely kind of like stepped up their game
Mm-hmm.
recently, but Mortal Kombat, so like after Street Fighter 2, like Mortal Kombat's really kind of taken over that fighting realm game scenario.
I guess I need to learn more about Street Fighter lore. Like I know like M. Bison's like the bad guy trying to take
Yeah.
over things.
In fact, speaking of anime, Street Fighter 2, the anime movie, that's a really good movie.
Yeah,
That's a really good
look
movie.
into that.
Yeah, because Ryu's got this like mystical power of like he's got the highest range or highest rating out of any of the fighters.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got Ryu because I feel like he's got more training behind him, and he's tougher because he's not from Hollywood. But
Interesting, bold claim.
yeah, I mean there are tough people in Hollywood, like Keanu Reeves.
He's pretty tough.
He's pretty tough. Like if I was ever to get into like a fight and like or a gun battle, first person I would want to call would be Keanu Reeves. He's like a legit gung fu guy.
He got into gods.
Yeah, with the John Wick movie.
I know.
So, all right, now we've got Johnny Cage and Ryu versus each other in the Street Fighter realm, which I don't know if it changes much, but I still going
Yeah, I
Ryu.
figured you would.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. I don't necessarily know the laws and rules of the Street Fighter
They're
realm.
probably
I think, is it
the
just Earth?
same.
Is it
Yeah,
just like Earth.
it's just Earth.
I'll give it to Ryu for home field.
So, all right, now let's talk final round. Cage, no projectiles, no like shadow kicks, no extra otherworldly abilities.
Okay.
Just hand to hand fighting in the cage, skill only.
Are there people watching?
Ooh, that would let's say they're in a stadium full of people.
Okay.
And yeah, I could see Johnny Cage like that. That changes it. If nobody's watching, he's probably not going to fight as hard. But if people are watching, he'll definitely fight harder.
I think Johnny Cage would win. in a cage match.
Yeah.
Literally, it's cage match. So that's kind of the joke.
Johnny's match.
Johnny's match.
Johnny's match, the cage match.
Just because he in the game, like he has like those phase kicks and whatever, but most of his stuff's punches and kicks and like martial arts, and he does lore wise, he does have all that training and whatnot. He does his own stuff.
This one's an interesting one because it could go either way.
It could.
Because I'm right there with you. Like Ryu's a legit martial artist. That if you take away his like projectile stuff, he's still really good. He's got that Shoryuken. That's not a otherworldly type strike. Right. The spinning tornado kick. I don't even know what you would call that. Yeah, that one. That one's not real. Like he wouldn't be able to really do that in real life.
You could do that in real life.
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on if you're wound up with a string and someone pulls you. Hey. So, but since I've been going with Ryu the whole time, I stick with him in the cage fight. But the fact that it's in a crowd, that gave me some slight pause.
Yeah.
Because it's like Johnny Cage is used to performing in front of people, and he thrives off that. So that would cause me to think that he would stand a fighting chance. So.
Whoa.
Or even more than a fighting chance.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think he could probably take it, but since I give Ryu the first two rounds.
Like Street Fighter, you're just going to go with Street Fighter.
Yeah.
No way.
So,
okay.
Ryu, I got Ryu. You got Johnny Cage.
Cage.
Clearly, I was like, right when I was doing this, I was like, Steven's just going to go with Johnny Cage.
Hey, I gave Ryu home field.
You did.
Probably
you did.
There's like a Honda in there that is like blocking Johnny Cage. And he doesn't know how to go through the car and the obstacle.
Yeah, you got to get through the car to get to Ryu first. That was always a fun thing.
Yeah.
He always used E-Honda.
Yeah.
With his palm. Yeah.
No, I was talking about the Honda car, like the match where you have to beat up a car.
Yeah. Well, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've obviously done that where you destroy the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you did, you got extra bonus points. Yep. That was always fun.
The only thing like that in Mortal Kombat, I think, is the skill challenge where you have to like you tap the button and you're like your character winds up and you have to like wait for it to get into the green spot. And it's like it's going like this.
Okay.
And then if you let go at the right time, he like breaks the boards.
Oh.
But if you miss, then it's like he hurts his hand and then like he's immediately executed. It's like the cutscene is like
dead.
Yeah. It's like something comes in and just
break the board. Oh, break board, you die.
Board, you die.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
well, let us know who you think would win in a fight between Ryu and Johnny Cage.
That's right.
So obviously we're split on this one, but let us know what you guys think. But moving on to our joke of the week. This week's joke of the week was a favorite from Paige. She liked this one.
Really?
And apparently Finn liked this one also.
Okay.
So it is, I just found out I was colorblind. And the news came right out of the purple. So, if you are colorblind, I still think it's funny.
Still funny.
So, one of my good buddies, Philip Tolman, he's colorblind.
Oh.
So, we'd always give him a hard time about that.
Interesting.
So, but if you've got a favorite joke, let us know your joke. But moving on to our shout-outs. All right, got anybody you want to shout out this week?
I am going to shout out you, sir. You've done really well this week. I know you had some challenges, both physical and in the dojo, and I would not have been surprised if you're like, "Hey, I just want to go home."
Yeah.
It's like, but you didn't. You stayed, and I thought that made you stronger.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, dealing with some back issues this week, and the muscles wouldn't stop freaking out and they wouldn't calm down. So, but yeah, honestly, I just keep kind of shouting out the students, to be honest with you. The fact that, we've got a good group of people that continue to train, and yeah, it's It makes dealing with things a lot easier when you've
It
got
really does.
good people around you. And, shout out for you for teaching a few extra classes. And yeah, it's just keep moving forward with
That's
it.
all you can do.
Keep moving forward. So, but any final thoughts you want to leave the people
Final
with?
thoughts. I think be grateful for what you have. You never
Yeah.
know. Like, we both have members of extended family that have gone into surgery
Yep.
this week,
Yep.
and I didn't realize the extent of the cancer in my grandma,
Okay.
but it was removed. It was a rare type, and it should be gone.
Okay.
But you don't know, especially when the people are of certain ages, that it's like you don't know if that's one that they're gonna wake up from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Surgery at that age.
So be very grateful for people that you have around you. Be very grateful for the things that you have, both the things that you've earned and things you were given. And from there you end up really finding happiness.
yeah.
Like, I'm very grateful. I don't have way too much, but I'm very grateful for what I have and the impact I can make here.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Yeah, I'd like to shout out Khalil in Texas. He just received 2 new organs on Thursday morning. It was very bittersweet for him and his family, because obviously very sweet for the fact that now he'll be able to start to live a more normal life. He had to receive a kidney and a pancreas. So he'd been on dialysis for a couple of years. I mean, he's very young. He's only like 27, 28. And so they were very grateful for the fact that he was able to receive these. But on the flip side, they also understand that in order for him to receive those, somebody had to have died.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to have been somebody fairly young, because he's young, and they try to match around similar age ranges. So I don't know who the family is, but to that family, I'm very sorry for your loss, but I'm also very grateful for the fact that even through your loss, you were able to help another family.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't know who the family is, but thank you. And
Thank you.
we really mourn your loss of whoever it is that you did lose. So it's a weird dynamic. Like we talked about earlier, like Tuesday was a pretty tough day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of having I called it a little pity party moment, where I was just kind of feeling sorry for myself for stupid reasons. And then you hear news like that. And then Wednesday morning, interestingly enough, when I opened my phone, I got this notification from Facebook. They'd be like, hey, here's one of your memories. So I looked at it, and it was actually a picture from 5 years ago's Ninja Night, where Liam and I took a picture with his face painted.
Wow.
And we were doing at the time, an online scavenger hunt, where if you got your picture taken with certain things, you could post it and you'd get points.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the pictures I took, and I was all like, okay, noted. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Like, whatever problem you feel like you were dealing with, not really that big of a problem.
That's right.
So, yeah, like you were just echoing or saying, I'll echo the same sentiment. It's like be gracious and grateful with what you have, because in reality, whatever you feel like you don't have or you're going through, it's not that big a deal.
That's right.
It may feel like a huge deal at the time, but in reality, you have a lot of things going for you. We all have a lot of things going for us. So take some time to be grateful and show gratitude for the life that you have and the life that you've been given, and appreciate it and make the people around you better. So, like we always try to say, making a positive impact on somebody you come across today. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and we will talk to you more next week.
Kick it with us next week.
Kick it with
Goodbye,
us
everyone.
next week, guys. Bye.